Good evening, bonsoir, bienvenue à la séance ordinaire du 17 juin. Welcome to the regular public meeting on June 17th. Please rise for the national anthem. Nous reconnaissons avec respect l'emplacement de la ville de Bathurst en tant que terre ancestrale du peuple Mi'kmaq. Aujourd'hui, ces terres sont hôtes d'une population diverse comprenant personnes natives du territoire et autres patries. Nous reconnaissons aussi avec respect l'histoire et les diverses cultures du peuple Mi'kmaq de la région. We respectfully acknowledge the city of Bathurst as the ancestral homeland of the Mi'kmaq. Today, these lands are homes to a diverse population of indigenous and other peoples. We also acknowledge with respect the diverse histories and culture of the Mi'kmaq in this region. On va aller à l'approbation de l'ordre du jour. Madame Parker.
Que l'ordre du jour soit approuvé comme présenté.
OK. Est-ce que je peux avoir quelqu'un pour proposer? Conseiller Branch, appuyé par député-maire Willett. Prêt pour la question? Tous en faveur, signifiant en disant oui. Oui. Contre? Motion adoptée. Ms. Parker, est-ce qu'on a des déclarations de conflit d'intérêt?
Aucune déclaration de conflit d'intérêt.
OK. On va aller à l'approbation du procès verbal, séance ordinaire publique tenue le 3 juin 2024.
Que le procès verbal de la séance ordinaire publique datée du 3 juin 2024 soit approuvé comme distribué.
Parfait. Est-ce que je peux avoir quelqu'un pour appuyer? Conseiller Knowles, appuyé par conseiller Scary. Prêt pour la question? Tous en faveur signifiant en disant oui. Oui. Contre? Motion adoptée. So we have public administration presentation. So we have our audited financial statement by Mr. Gilles Deveau from EPA. Monsieur Deveau, si vous voulez prendre le micro.
Bonsoir. Plaisir d'être ici avec vous. Le rapport de l'auditeur, rien qui est survenu pendant notre vérification qui ferait que croire que les états financiers ne présentent pas bel et bien la situation financière au 31 décembre 2023. Je vais glisser le mot que je voudrais remercier l'équipe à Sonia pour leur ouvrage qu'ils ont fait durant l'année, aussi avec nous autres pendant la vérification. Ça fait que je vais sauter dedans à la page numéro 3 dans l'état des opérations. Donc, à la fin de 2023, sous les nouvelles normes que je vais spécifier, comme on voit, les revenus sont établis à 51 874 000 comparativement à 35 870 l'année précédente. Les dépenses dans chaque catégorie gouvernementale, protection, transport, environnemental, etc., se sont établis à 46 561 505 $, comparativement à 36 millions l'année précédente. Donc, la ville de Bathurst a fini avec un surplus sous les nouvelles normes de 5 312 915 $ cette année, additionné au surplus accumulé de 68 millions Donc, la municipalité finit avec un surplus accumulé de 74 122 175 à la fin de l'exercice. À la situation financière, comme on voit, le compte bancaire est quand même bien établi à 2 168 000, les recevables, etc. Donc, des actifs financiers de 5 164 301 $. Avec, si on enlève les payables et les dettes, etc., de 2,9 millions, votre dette à long terme qui a baissé de 25 134 000 à 22 639 $. Ça fait qu'on voit que la dette à long terme est allée dans la bonne direction, en train de descendre, etc. Donc, des passifs de 30 191 000. Donc, la ville de Bathurst a fini le 31 décembre 2023 avec une dette nette de 23 27 358. C'est une diminution, comme on va voir à la prochaine feuille, de quasiment 3,6 millions, où elle s'établissait à 26 645 000. Donc, une diminution de la dette nette encore cette année dans la bonne direction. C'est qu'on voit les actifs tangibles ont quand même augmenté de 151 000 à 165 millions. Ça, il ne faut pas oublier qu'il y a quasiment 12 millions des actifs qui ont été hérités avec la réforme municipale des DSL, Sainte-Anne, la caserne de pompiers, et les environnements. Donc, fini l'exercice avec 96 306 000 d'actifs non financiers, des tangibles, les actifs, les autos. L'inventaire prépayé pour 97 millions total d'actifs non financiers pour donner le 74 millions de surplus accumulé qu'on a vu à la page précédente. Ensuite, c'est là que la diminution de la dette nette, comme on voit, on parle du surplus annuel, les variations dans les acquisitions, amortissements, etc., de l'inventaire et les prépayés. Donc, on a, comme on voit ici, c'est une diminution de 3,6 millions dans la dette nette, avec le 544 000 de l'année précédente, juste dans les 2 dernières années, on a une diminution de la dette nette de quasiment 4 millions juste dans les 2 dernières années. Si qu'on passe à le flux de trésorerie, donc on a eu des rentrées de fonds de 16 millions des opérations, des acquisitions de 14 millions, comme que je disais, des DSL, les dettes qui ont diminué de 2,4 millions dans l'exercice, même avec une nouvelle dette de 1,5 million, donc il y a eu des remboursements sur la dette de 4 millions. Donc, il y a eu des sorties de fonds de 52 792 dans l'année, qui est quand même pas si pire pour apporter le compte bancaire non affecté de 377 552. Ensuite, je vais passer à la note 3, jusque, comme on voit, le fonds, l'encaisse qui est restreint, c'est pour les fonds de réserve, ça fait que de 1,7 million. Le fonds d'encaisse qu'on vient de voir de 377 000, qu'on a vu qui n'a pas de restriction, qui est pour les opérations. Les recevables dans vos 2 fonds de 4,1 millions. Les recevables de TVH. Les revenus différés. Les dettes nettes, comme que j'ai dit, qui est descendu à 22 317 000 à la fin de l'exercice. Ici qu'on voit dans les prochains 5 ans, on a quasiment 4 millions, 3,4, 3,1. Ça fait que dans les prochains 5 ans, la dette va être réduite de quasiment une vingtaine de millions sur le 23 qu'on a là. Ensuite, je vais plus vous attirer l'attention à la note. Donc, si qu'on...
Ils sont toutes croches.
Je vais regarder sur mes feuilles. Parce que c'est ça le plus important qu'on veut, qui est votre déficit ou votre surplus que vous allez commencer votre budget de 2025.
Oh, donne un petit coup de main.
Allô? Pourquoi est-ce que tu veux le voir, là? Ouais, c'était là, des continuer.
Ouais. Je suis déjà bonne. Ouais, j'ai la bonne. C'est ça. Fait que quand vous allez commencer votre budget de 2025, ça fait que votre surplus municipal, qui est votre opérationnel, dans le fonds d'opération, vous avez fini avec un surplus de 1 524 004 $. Les grosses raisons de ça, c'est qu'il qu'il y a eu des revenus qui n'étaient pas budgétés. Ça fait qu'il y avait 801 895 de plus de revenus que ce qui était budgété. Un, c'était dans le tourisme, qui est une bonne chose à voir. Ça veut dire qu'il y a plus de touristes dans la municipalité, qui est tout en bon voie. Des transferts, on va dire en anglais, des federal grants, ça fait des projets. L'intérêt, si on voit, vous avez fait 130 000 de plus en intérêt que ce qui était budgété, ça veut dire que vous êtes dans une position où vous avez plus d'argent, puis vous êtes en train de faire l'argent sur l'argent, ça fait que toujours bon. Puis, c'était combiné avec des économies dans les dépenses de 722 109 $. Donc, un des gros, c'était dans l'enlèvement, la neige. Ça fait 356 000 d'économies dans le déblayement de neige. Mais je pense qu'on le sait, ça fait déjà 2-3 ans que je vous dis toute la même affaire. Ça fait on s'en va dans la bonne direction, c'est bon. Les assurances qui étaient un petit peu moins chères. Le pavage des rues, puis juste des programmes qui ont eu des économies. Donc, ce qui fait que vous avez fini avec un surplus de 1,5 million dans votre fonds d'opération. Une bonne nouvelle pour commencer le budget de 2025. Dans le fonds d'eau et égout, vous avez terminé avec un déficit de 61 873. Les grosses lignes de celle-là, c'est que les revenus étaient plus bas que budgétés de 166 000. Un des gros, c'était dans les lois résidentielles. Ça fait qu'il y avait 265 000 de moins. Ça fait que, puis des économies dans les dépenses de 104 197. Ça fait que finir avec un budget de 61 000, c'est un budget dans les millions. On va dire que c'est assez proche de ça. Puis ajouté à ça, vous avez quand même monté votre fonds de réserve. Vous avez quand même monter votre fonds de réserve de 1,5 million à 1,7 million durant l'exercice. Ça fait même avec le surplus, vous avez quand même monté votre réserve.
C'est impressionnant, c'est impressionnant. On attendait pour ça. On savait que Mme Sourier nous avait comme fait une petite présentation, mais on attendait pour avoir...
l'officiel.
L'officiel. Does council have any questions concerning the presentation that we received? Non? Okay. Merci beaucoup. Je vais vous dire que je suis impressionnée. I wanted to say great job to the team, to the staff, to Sonia and her team and every department head. This is wonderful news for the city. I mean, almost $4 million shaved off the debt once again. So if we go from $37,795,000 to $23,205,000 in such a short period of time, we're heading in the right direction. We've hired more staff than ever before. We've gotten more work done than ever before. So we're putting ourselves in a situation financially where we wouldn't have to borrow all the time. We'll be able to pay cash, which is a big win for us. So we don't pay as much as interest in debts. And we could take that money and put it forward. So we're heading in the right direction. Bravo à toute l'équipe. Merci beaucoup. Merci. Madame Gauvin, vouliez-vous rajouter d'autres choses là-dessus, vu que vous faites tellement du beau travail?
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Ça va sans dire que la tâche du département de trésorerie, c'est sûr, c'est de placer des chiffres ensemble, de faire des recommandations par rapport à des choses financières, mais c'est la tâche de chaque département qui ont une responsabilité financière par rapport à leur budget individuel. Donc, c'est sûr que chaque département, quand ils ont eu des économies, c'est beau à voir qu'ils n'ont pas juste été sans stratégie, dépenser l'argent, ils ont maximisé l'argent qu'ils avaient. Puis le fait qu'on a 1,5 million dans le fonds d'opération générale pour débuter 2025 veut dire qu'on peut avoir une vraie stratégie budgétaire pour voir qu'est-ce qu'on veut faire. Puis que notre stratégie qu'on a pour le réinvestissement dans le capital pour ultimement investir plus dans les infrastructures de la municipalité fonctionne. Fait que c'est ambitionnant, c'est encourageant. Fait que merci à tous les gestionnaires parce que c'est sûr et certain que sans eux, le plan, il ne se passe pas.
Merci. So we're going to go to finance. Accounts payable totals for May 2024. Ms. Parker.
that the accounts payable totals, including payroll for the month of May 2024, be approved as follows. Operating, $2,121,727. Capital, $365,673, for a total of $4,070,502.
All right, so I'll get a mover and a seconder, and then we'll go to Mr. Pettigrew for questions. Okay, moved by Councillor LeBlanc, seconded by Councillor Hondas. Mr. Pettigrew, I'll get you the mic. Good to go.
Thank you, Your Worship. The following is a summary of disbursements for both the operating and capital funds for the month of May 2024. Under the capital fund, RH Fernet received a payment of $193,473 for combined sewer upgrades. Hathaway Limited received a payment of $131,135 for police vehicles. Roy Consultant Limited received a payment of $41,066 for consulting service on different capital projects throughout the city, for a total in the capital of $365,673. In the operating fund, New Brunswick Municipal Finance Corp. received a payment of $714,465 for our debenture repayments. Minister of Finance received a payment of $327,574 for various Minister of Finance payments. NB Power received a payment for electricity of $207,493. Irving Energy received a payment of $26,546 for bulk diesel and oil. PCS Sales received a payment of $59,592 for road salt. Wex Canada received a payment of $34,912 for fuel. Roy Excavation received a payment of $32,732 for snow removal. Schiller Regional Service Commission received a payment of $28,708 for tipping fees. Ivan's Camera received a payment of $28,615 for a sound system for council chambers. Sierra Planning received a payment of $27,985 for pool and recreation study. Bathurst Festival Commission received a grant of $25,000. Safety Source Fire received a payment of $21,489 for fire department bunker suits. Robbie Show and Brito Contracting received a payment of $20,240 for Ward 2 garbage collection. Schiller Lines received a payment of $17,339 for a bulldozer rental. IMP Solutions received a payment for IT equipment of $16,801. North Etiquette Rec Center received a payment of $14,765 for claim number 2 for the yearly expenses of their grant. Other recurring payments of $517,470 include animal control, supplies, and promoter settlements for tickets, for a total of $2,121,727. Total payroll was $1,583,102 for 5 pay periods, for a total in the month of May of $4,070,502. That is my report, Your Worship.
All right, do we have any questions for Mr. Pettigrew? Councillor Burnett?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Thanks, Mr. Pettigrew. I see that you rented a bulldozer for some of the work that we've been doing, and our crews are doing more and more work. And I know that you purchased over the years you've been here many pieces of equipment that have saved the taxpayer money by not having to rent or not having to get them from elsewhere. So are you any ideas on getting a bulldozer so the crews can have their own when they need it?
Thank you, Worship. Yeah, with a lot of work, our current bulldozer that we have is from the 70s. It's definitely reached its end of its useful life, but I would leave Mr. Abernathy will probably come back with some recommendations at some point, but we analyze our usage and our rental and would come forward with a recommendation to council to proceed with a purchase if it's warranted for the engineering department for operations.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we'll go to the question. Everyone in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. 2023 financial audited statement. Ms. Parker. Oh, okay. There you go.
Thank you. That the 2023 consolidated financial statements for the City of Bathurst be accepted as presented, and that the Mayor and City Treasurer be authorized to sign the aforementioned statements. Be it resolved that the 2023 consolidated financial statements are approved as presented.
All right, I'll need someone to move and someone to second. Moved by Councillor Branch, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. I'm looking both sides. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Municipal bylaws. Adoption of restriction and conditions pursuant to Section 59 of the Community Planning Act for property located at 1945 Marmotry Avenue. Ms. Parker.
Whereas, council members approve the agreement between Red Rock Properties, Black & McDonald Limited, and the City of Bathurst, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to sign all related documents on behalf of the city, and whereas the applicant has been authorized by the current owner of land bearing PID number 2003-5986 and 2053-8278, as shown in Schedule A of Bylaw Number 2024-06Z, to proceed with the rezoning of the said land hereinafter named the parcels, and whereas the municipality has received a request from the applicant to amend the zoning of said parcels to allow the relocation of businesses already operating in the City of Bathurst under the corporate names of Black & McDonald and Power Precision, and whereas the council intends to adopt Bylaw Number 2024-06Z to permit this development as a conditional rezoning pursuant to Section 59 of the Community Planning Act, and whereas the council wants to add terms and conditions through a conditional rezoning agreement attached to Bylaw Number 2024-06Z to ensure once the rezoning is completed that the parcel is developed in accordance with the terms and conditions listed in the agreement, and whereas Subsection 59(2) of the Community Planning Act stipulates that this agreement, once entered into, will only take effect after the certified copies of the rezoning bylaw and the agreement are filed in the Land Registration Office. Now therefore be it resolved that the following terms and conditions be imposed on the parcel. 1. A maximum of 8 stationary containers for the storage of materials and tools used by the company will be permitted. These containers must be placed only in the side yard between the building and the parcel bearing the PID number 208-48891, Armor Transportation. A maximum of 7 20-foot containers may also be parked in the side yards to be moved and used as construction box on construction sites. 2. With the exception of equipment to be installed in e-houses stored outside, all other work and activities must be carried out inside the building. 3. Building doors must be completely closed with noisy work is being carried out indoors. The provisions contained by Bylaw Number 2005-14 respecting the prevention of excessive noise within the City of Bathurst continue to apply. 4. All provisions of the zoning bylaw continue to apply. 5. No exterior lighting shall project or overhang onto neighboring properties. 6. If and when required by the City of Bathurst, the owner shall install and maintain a 6-foot-high fence along residential properties to act as a visual screen. 7. The above-mentioned terms and conditions are binding upon the parties, their administrators, officers, heirs, and assigns. 8. On the rezoning of the land in the zone and any building or structure on the land shall not be developed or used except in accordance with this conditional rezoning agreement, the terms and conditions imposed, and the time limits prescribed. 9. The parties acknowledge having read the contents of the document and declare having signed it.
All right, so I'll need someone to move and second. Moved by Councillor Honda, seconded by Councillor Scarry. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. We're falling under proposed zoning bylaw amendment, second reading, bylaw 2024-06. Ms. Parker.
That Bylaw 2024-06M, entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw 2008-01, entitled The City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw, be read for the second time by title.
All right, I'll need someone to move. Okay. Moved by Councillor Knowles, seconded by Councillor Legacy. I'm trying to do different. Everybody raised their hand. Are you ready for the question? Yes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. Second reading of Bylaw 2024-06Z. That Bylaw 2024-06Z, entitled A Bylaw to Amend Bylaw 2008-01, entitled The City of Bathurst Zoning Bylaw, be read for the second time by title. All right, I'll need someone to move in second. Moved by Deputy Mayor Willett, seconded by Councillor Branch. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. We go under draft resolutions, license agreement, Fred Pete Memorial Skate Park. Ms. Parker. That council members approve the license agreement renewal between the Evangeline Pentecostal Church and the City of Bathurst, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to sign all related documents on behalf of the city. All right, I'll need someone to move and second. Moved by Councillor Honda, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. Do we have any questions on this one? I was looking at Councillor Burnett, and I knew the button was coming. All right, Councillor Burnett.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. The sign naming the park Is it going back up?
Mr. Pettigrew? I'll give you
Through to Mr. Ron Wilbur.
Mr. Wilbur. Okay, you're at mic number 2. Okay, give me a sec.
Thank you, Your Worship. We've had numerous discussions with the church group in regards to the renewal of the lease, and that is not an item that has come up, but it's certainly one that we can address with them to see if that's something that they'd.
Yeah, I would like to see that sign back up. I still, remember Mr. They don't want to give some money for the case to do something.
Oh, hold on, your mic we've lost your mic, Councillor Burnett. I think I can only have so many mics at the same time and someone gets disconnected. Okay, do you want to hit your button again and I'll try?
It's on.
It's okay, you're on.
Thank you. Yeah, I still remember Mr. Email Pete coming in and saying, I'd like to do something for the kids, and he was thinking tennis court, and then I said maybe skateboard park, and he jumped right on it, and I think he gave me a check for $33,000, one individual donation. Imagine that. So that's why I would like to see the sign go back up for Mr. Pete, and his son. It was named after his son who he lost, young. So it was quite a contribution, and then although the project was over $300,000, but it's used too a lot. You know, it's great to see. Thank you.
You're welcome. Will you be able to look into them?
Of course.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we'll go to the question. All those in favor signify by saying, oh. Okay. All right. No. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose. Motion carried. I feel like, honest to God, I feel like a real technician. Une vraie technicienne ici. Faut que je donne parole à tout le monde. Les micros fonctionnent pas. So we're at 2024 grants distribution. Ms. Parker.
That the grant distribution be approved as follows. $12,000 to the Bathurst Heritage Trust Commission.
All right, I'll need someone to move in second. Moved by Councillor Legacy, seconded by Councillor Knowles. Ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. P 2024-06 Housing Accelerator Fund New Construction Grant Policy. Ms. Parker.
Whereas the City of Bathurst wishes to encourage the construction of new housing units during the Housing Accelerator Fund HAF program, and whereas the City of Bathurst aims to promote the construction of higher density multi-residential buildings and missing middle housing forms, be it therefore resolved that members of Council approve policy P 2024-06 entitled Housing Accelerator Fund New Construction Grant Policy as attached hereto.
All right, I'll need someone to move in second. Moved by Councillor Honda, seconded by Councillor LeBlanc. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. We'll go to P 2024-07 Housing Accelerator Fund Non-Residential Building Conversion Grant Policy. Ms. Parker.
Whereas the City of Bathurst wishes to encourage the conversion of underutilized non-residential building space into new housing units during the Housing Accelerator Fund, and whereas the city's housing needs assessment has identified a strong immediate demand for affordable studio and one-bedroom rental units to accommodate students, migrant workers, and younger individuals, be it therefore resolved that members of Council approve the policy P 2024-07 entitled Housing Accelerator Fund Non-Residential Building Conversion Grant Policy as attached hereto.
All right, I'll need someone to move in second. Moved by Councillor Branch, seconded by Councillor Legacy. We do have a question. Councillor Burnett.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Could we have a summary of this?
We will. Once the both resolution has passed, Mr. Legacy is going to do a presentation.
Looking forward to that. Thank you.
All right, I'll go to the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Oppose? Motion carried. Mr. Pettigrew?
Through to Mr. Legacy.
All right. So let me get you the podium. The mic is yours, Mr. Legacy.
Perfect. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess for our viewers at home, this is probably the first time I address council at a public meeting, so I'll introduce myself. My name is Chris Legacy. I'm the Director of Economic Development for the city. I'm also realizing that since we signed this agreement with CMHC, I haven't actually given an update to the public as well, so I figured if you'll allow me to give just a brief overview of the program, where
Absolutely.
we're at, and then I'll give that update. Great. So for those of you who remember back in March, we would have announced that we signed an agreement with the CMHC for a conditional contribution valued at just over $3 million to accelerate housing development in the city of Bathurst. Part of that agreement is that we've committed to an action plan and we're hoping to see that action plan completed by the end of March 2025. So part of that action plan, there's 7 initiatives that we've outlined. One of them is the incentive program, which we're going to be introducing the first 2 policies of that program this evening. Mr. Buffard has already been doing some updates and some amendments to our zoning bylaw, one of which was to reduce the parking requirements for new residential builds. So we've reduced that requirement from 1.5 parking spaces for multi-residential units down to 1 parking space per residential unit. So that's really good. Another was to increase the density allowed on lots. So for our downtown specifically, we were limited to 4 stories. We are now able to have multi-residential buildings up to 8 stories, which is great. We have an infrastructure plan that we are currently working on with the engineering department to look at infill development opportunities and looking ahead to where we would expand our infrastructure in the longer term to accommodate the growth that we need to see, the housing growth that we need to see to accommodate everybody that's moving into our beautiful city. We have a disposition of city-owned land policy that we are working on, which part of that will be to catalog or create an inventory of city-owned land that is suitable for housing development. That'll be made available for the developers as well. We're looking at amending our zoning bylaw to incorporate accessory dwelling units, which ties into the big theme of housing these days of gentle density. So we'll be looking at ways to incorporate secondary units on a primary lot, how we can do that, where that'll fit within our existing residential zones and our municipal plan. And then finally, we're looking at delegating some additional approval authority to our Director of Planning to help with some very minor planning issues that may otherwise have to go to the Planning Advisory Committee or may have some kind of a variance request. So we're looking at how we can delegate some approval authority to speed up the process where we can. The second condition of our agreement with the federal government is that we need to permit 160 residential units by the end of 2026. So that is both, I guess, the action plan and that target, that hard target of 160 units are the 2 conditions that we need to meet in order to receive our full contribution of just over $3 million from the government. So tonight we're pleased to introduce the first 2 policies of our half grant program. The first is for the new construction of just new construction. We will be giving up to $20,000 per unit, depending on where the project is located. So I'll get into that a little bit later, but part of our housing needs assessment identified 3 strategic zones for us to really push for housing development where we need it most critically. So we'll look at that. And then the second policy is for non-residential building conversion. So any underutilized commercial space, or if there's part of a commercial building space that can be converted to residential, we're looking to encourage that as well. Again, looking to infill spaces where we can. So as I mentioned, the housing needs assessment that was completed in April of this year identified 3 areas that the housing need is greatest currently, and that is in proximity to the CCNB campus on College Street, in proximity to the hospital, and in our downtown core. So with that, we designed these policies to give a bonusing per unit if it's located in what we established as a 20-minute walkability from those areas. So we have some just general maps attached to the policy that will be made available on our website following this council meeting. These areas are just, they're approximate. We use GIS mapping tools to kind of give an idea of what a 20-minute walkability would look like. The zones that are illustrated on these maps are based on existing road networks. So we recognize that if new infrastructure is installed, it can change the look of those boundaries, which is why we've given ourselves a little bit of flexibility to kind of use our common sense where new developments are presented, and we'll go from there. So here's an approximate zone for the college. We have an approximate zone for the downtown area. And then we have the approximate zone from the Schiller Regional Hospital. So again, it was a very brief overview. I just wanted to give, what is the maximum benefit you could be looking at for these policies with your developments going forward. I will be hosting an information session at the Casey Irving on June 26th at 5 p.m. for any developers that are looking to dive a little deeper into these policies, perhaps ask any questions they may have. It's about a week and a half from now, so it gives a little bit of time to review. And then for the most up-to-date information on our progress on our action plan, we do have a quick link, bathurst.ca/half. We'll try to be doing, as part of this action plan, rollouts through social media campaigns as well to keep people up to date on updates on the plan.
All right. Do we have any questions? Councillor Anderson?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a point of clarification.
Sure.
So the $20,000 grant, is that, it's per unit, but is that, like if somebody wanted to build a single-family home, would they be, if this is, or is this for somebody that's building a larger scope project?
It's for multi-residential, so part of the conditions of the half fund is that it has to be 2 units plus.
2 units plus?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, thanks.
Councillor Burnett?
Thanks, Madam Mayor. We used to have a program for single-unit homes, for single homes, and where they get a tax break. Do we still have that?
We do not. That was repealed in January.
Oh, that was repealed in January. Well, too bad. I liked that program. It gave some people a reason to build their homes in Bathurst. Maybe it could be revisited another time. The second question is all your mapping that you have of where to build, and there are some areas in there because of global warming that are right on the waterfront that we looked at previously that said you couldn't build in some of those zones. But has that been re-looked at? Because it looks like on your maps or on your colored areas that you can build more on the waterfront. And I like that idea of building more on the waterfront, even though it is possible with global warming that in 25 years it might be a situation. But let's handle it. Let's build in such a way that we can do it safely. You know.
Thank you, Councillor. So the GIS mapping that was presented does not take into consideration our climate adaptability study that we had completed. We are still very aware of those areas when we are approving developments. So it's something that we're keeping in the back of our mind. But this map, it was just to illustrate a walkability, not necessarily what is permitted for development through this program. So there may be some revision on a case-by-case basis, depending if it is in a very risky
there's
area.
some nice lots there. Thank you.
All right. Any other question? No. So, Mr. Legacy, just out of curiosity, so I think like right now we've been focusing because we have repealed a lot of our incentives that we had, and we're making changes. So we will be coming forward for other incentives sometime this year, for next year, for businesses, right? Because we did have one for downtown merchant if they wanted to open a business. We had so much. So will we be looking at a different incentive for our business community as well?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Those programs are still under review. Honestly, the biggest focus, and it should be our focus at this point, is housing. Trying to attract new business and not having anywhere to house any of the staff is, we're hearing it more and more and more. So we need to really focus our efforts and what limited resources we have financially on attacking this housing first. But we will be revisiting to see, is there an effective policy that we can put in place to attract more business? Whether or not we revisit single-family homes as an eligible category. But for now, we know, based on our housing needs assessment, that the need is for multi-residential or even just bachelor single bedroom units to accommodate migrant workers, students. So we really need to attack, despite an objective of 160 for the next 3 years, 160 permitted units, our housing needs assessment says we need 165 units every year through the same period.
Yeah.
So it's a really big number that we need to tackle. So my focus has been to put as much of our resources as possible into attracting more multi-residential development, take care of the foundational problem here, and then we can start looking at attracting more business for sure.
Very good point. Thank you very much for answering my question.
No problem.
All right. Any other question? No? Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So we'll go under reports. Any reports from administration, Ms. Parker? No, hold on. Make sure you have the mic. All right. Oh, no, wrong. I gave it to the CAO.
Thank you. There were no reports from administration or committees.
All right, perfect. As mayor report, just want to let everyone know that I had the opportunity to go to the FCM, so the Federal Conference in Calgary, with a few councillors this past week. It was quite interesting. It was a long 4 days, but it's great when you get to network and talk to other mayors and council and see how things are operating in their cities. So it was certainly well worth it at our end. We had the Chambers Golf Tournament last Friday. A few of us were able to play. Councillor Legacy just got back from Saint-Aubin-sur-Mar. Did you want to share quickly a little something about how it went? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I mean.
Yeah, so I had the privilege of attending some of the ceremonies at our twin city in France, Normandy, Saint-Aubin-sur-Mar. I was hosted by one of the committee members, Solange Bayeux. She's hosted a few others in the 75th anniversary. This was the 80th anniversary. The people there, the presentations, the dedication to maintaining the history is just unbelievable. It was. I just can't say enough about it. Lifetime experience for sure, and highly recommend if anyone ever has the chance to go and see some of the history there, that they should take it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I figured we'd share it because, it's quite an experience. All right, I do want to give one update as well. J'aimerais donner un petit point sur le site du Moulin. As you all know, the former mill site in Bathurst has been an issue for Bathurst and area residents for many years. It has also been a major concern for all of the city for many years. This past February 22nd, I had the opportunity to meet Premier Higgs during a roundtable that was held by the Premier here at the Atlantic Coast in Bathurst. This was a great opportunity for me to present the former mill site directly to Premier Higgs. He demonstrated keen interest in learning the fine details regarding the property and actually offered and accepted a meeting with us in Fredericton to go into greater details on the matter. On Wednesday, March 13th, myself, along with Councillor Knowles, Deputy Mayor Willett, our CAO, Mr. Pettigrew, our Assistant CAO, Monsieur Laplante, and our City Engineer, Matthew Abernathy, met with Premier Higgs and his team to present the file in great details. This was a very productive and constructive meeting, one that I consider the defining moment in the process of resolving this issue. Since then, we have had many communications with our colleagues at the province, whether by phone calls, emails, remote meetings. Through these meetings, we did inquire and recommend a resolution pathway, one that meant activating a tax sale process, a process that now has become a reality and will be happening next week on Thursday, June 27th. This will be a benchmark moment towards the resolution of this long-standing issue, one that I am optimistic at the outcome. The fact that we have arrived at this moment is a testament of the many efforts on behalf of our council members, along with myself, the leadership team involved in this, and the openness of our colleagues at the provincial level. Although we are not done yet, it is important for me to recognize and thank all of you, especially council, staff, stakeholders, and many individuals who were part of Premier Higgs' team that were involved with us. Also, I cannot forget you, the citizens. Thank you for continuing to push this file. Thank you for being vocal and help the process move along. We did say that we would try, and we have been trying, and now we're starting to see something happening. Now, by no means is this effort complete yet, but we are as close as we've ever been to see this issue resolved. Now, in order to respect the ongoing process, we will not be making any further statements, and we will let the events play out over the next couple of weeks. tax sale is next week. Je vais le redire en français juste pour m'assurer, parce que je l'ai dit seulement en anglais. Comme vous le savez tous, le site de l'ancien moulin de Bathurst est un enjeu pour les résidents de Bathurst et de la région depuis nombreuses années. Il s'agit également d'une préoccupation majeure pour la ville de Bathurst toutes ces années. Le 22 février dernier, j'ai eu l'occasion de rencontrer le premier ministre Higgs lors d'une table ronde organisée par le premier ministre ici à Bathurst. C'était une excellente occasion pour moi de présenter le dossier du site de l'ancienne usine directement au premier ministre Higgs. Il s'est montré très intéressé à connaître les détails de la propriété et même à accepter de nous rencontrer à Fredericton pour présenter les questions en plus grand détail. Le mercredi 13 mars, moi-même, ainsi que conseiller Knowles, député maire Willett, le directeur général Todd Pettigrew, le directeur général adjoint Marc-André Laplante et l'ingénieur municipal Matthew Abernathy avons rencontré le premier ministre Higgs et son équipe pour leur présenter le dossier en très grand détail. Cette réunion a été très productive et constructive, et je le considère comme le moment déterminant dans le processus de résolution de ce problème. Depuis, nous avons eu nombreuses communications avec nos collègues de la province, que ce soit par téléphone, par courriel électronique ou même des réunions à distance. Au cours de ces réunions, nous nous sommes renseignés et avons recommandé une voie de résolution qui impliquait l'activation d'un processus de vente pour non-paiement d'impôts, un processus qui est maintenant une réalité et qui aura lieu la semaine prochaine, le jeudi 27 juin au Best Western à 13h. Il s'agira d'un moment clé de la résolution de ce problème de longue date et je suis optimiste qu'on va avoir une résolution. Le fait que nous soyons arrivés à ce point témoigne des nombreux efforts déployés par les membres du Conseil, par moi-même et le membre d'équipe de direction concernés, et surtout l'ouverture de nos collègues au niveau provincial. Bien que nous ne sommes pas encore à la ligne d'arrivée, il est important pour moi de reconnaître et remercier toutes les personnes impliquées, qu'il s'agisse de notre propre conseil, notre personnel, des partenaires prenants et des nombreuses personnes faisant partie de l'équipe du premier ministre Higgs et qui ont été impliqués avec nous. Je n'oublie surtout pas les citoyens, nos citoyens qui ont porté la voix, qui ont poussé fort, puis qui ont voulu qu'on continue à travailler sur le processus. On vous a écouté, et écoutez, ça fait longtemps qu'on travaille, ça fait depuis que je suis élue avec le Conseil et même avant, mais dans les 2 dernières années, on a travaillé fort. Cette affaire n'est à aucun cas terminée, mais nous n'avons jamais été si près de voir un dossier résolu. Afin de respecter le processus en cours, nous ne ferons pas d'autres déclarations et laisserons l'événement se dérouler au cours des prochaines semaines. Merci à vous, merci d'être avec nous. We will go to the adjournment of the meeting. Ms. Parker, you still have the mic. We're good to go.
That the regular public meeting be adjourned at 7:18 p.m.
All right, I'll need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Branch, seconded by Councillor Leblanc. Tous en faveur signifiant en disant oui. Contre. Motion adoptée. Bonne soirée à vous tous. Merci d'être avec nous.